Hey, it's Gavin Webfoot, and today we're going to be walking through our detailed process for painting your cabinets. We've been working with our friends at RADA, located right across the street from us, to really define and fine-tune our cabinet painting process. Today we're going to go through the tools, techniques to have it done seriously great. A typical cabinet painting project will take approximately 4 days. It can take longer, it probably won't take less. Because of dry times and the amount of steps in place to get a nice finished product, it really can't be much faster than 4 days. Usually they're done between 4 and 7 days. The first step in having your cabinets painted is the setup, and this is a big part of it. Good setup will lead to a good final product. So some of the products and tools that we use when painting cabinets are painter's tape, masking paper, masking film, brooms, drop cloths, plenty of rags, a Sharpie for labeling hardware and doorknobs, bucket or box to keep hardware organized, zip walls if we're providing containment for a certain area, and a hand masker. Good setup should lead to a good final product. Things that included in the setup, this will be clearing out your kitchen, so emptying cabinets, clearing the countertops. One of our early steps is actually cleaning your floors before we lay floor paper down. We do this so there's nothing between the floor paper and your floors that could grind in any sort of granulars and stuff like that, so that's an important step. It also involves setting up the garage. For many projects, we're going to be field finishing your cabinets. Field finishing means that we are going to be painting the cabinets right there on site. So this involves setting up a space within your home to spray these cabinets. Oftentimes, this is your garage. We take your garage, we cover the floor with paper, we drape plastic all the way around it. Essentially, we create a spray booth right on site. This allows us to perfectly match colors to the cabinet boxes, which are installed in your kitchen, to the cabinet doors, which are finished in your garage. So here's a really great tool. This is called a hand masker. This is your painter's very best friend. It takes tape, combines it with either paper or plastic, quickly pulls out, tears off, and now you're quickly able to apply that to a surface that you're masking. Without a hand masker, you're trying to put tape onto paper, and that is a slow process. These are worth investing in if you're going to be doing a lot of painting. Any professional painter definitely has one of these. Once everything is set up, then we quickly move towards dismantling cabinets. So that's going to be removing hinges, possibly removing hardware, labeling everything very clearly so each cabinet hinge belongs in this area of each cabinet, so it's very clearly defined. Allows us to install the cabinets efficiently. Other bits of the setup include removing can lights and other potential fire hazards from the project. For us, that means removing every single light bulb before we wrap can lights, being wary of stovetops and any potential hazards of accidentally starting the stove by removing knobs. Step 2 of having your cabinets painted is the surface prep. Surface prep, super important. Poor surface prep can lead to poor adhesion, future delaminating, a whole host of issues that you do not want to have. So products you'll need to surface prep your cabinets, we have sanding sponges, naphtha, isopropyl alcohol, plenty of rags, Bondo, a putty knife, your primer, a spray pump and spray gun, the appropriate spray tips, and potentially an additional primer for filling in deep grained wood. So the first step of prepping your cabinets involves wiping those cabinet surfaces down with naphtha. Naphtha is a solvent that is very good at degreasing and removing contaminants. It can leave some residue, so after wiping it down with naphtha, we actually wipe it down one more time with isopropyl alcohol. Now we have a very clean surface and we can start beginning our next phase of prep. The next phase of prep involves sanding all the surfaces that we're going to paint. So this is a light sand on all of the surface. The goal here is to degloss the surfaces and provide a surface that's not too smooth, that has some teeth for our products to adhere to. Here's an example of a sand pad that we'd use to scuff sand your cabinet doors. You can see it's a flexible sponge. It has sanding surfaces on all edges of the sponge. It allows you to kind of get into the grooves of cabinets really well. By applying pressure, you can fill in ridges and deep cracks within your cabinet doors and faces. Really cheap tool. We buy these by the thousands. Once our surfaces are sanded, we wipe them down to remove any sanding dust or debris that's kind of collected in any of the corners. Now we're on to our primer. We use a very specific primer, one that adheres really, really well and is very tough. It is a product from Zinsser, that's the manufacturer. It's called Bin Advanced. So Bin Advanced is a synthetic shellac-based primer. Great primer, adheres to just about anything, and it doesn't have the odors that are found in shellac-based primers and oil-based primers, which are very commonly used. Outside of this prep process, there are a few additional prep processes that could take place on your cabinets. Things like, if you're changing out hardware, the holes might need to be filled and then moved over to adjust for the new hardware. If you have oak cabinets, we add an extra prime step to fill in that deep oak grain that you'll see. If we don't do that, oftentimes when you paint it, you'll see these black kind of lines that cut through where that grain is really present. So just an additional step to help kind of fill in some of that grain. So now that we have the area set up, the surface is prepped, we move on to step 3, which is painting the cabinets. The products and tools you'll need to paint your cabinets are a spray gun, an airless sprayer, the correct spray tip, we prefer a fine finish tip, and the paint or your top coat. When top coating your cabinets, the product that we like the most is a product from Sherwin-Williams called Snap Dry. Snap Dry is an awesome product for top coating your cabinets. The biggest benefit of it, it's a water-based product that has very quick recoat time. Manufacturer's recommendation is 2 hours to recoat your cabinets. That allows us to efficiently move through your project without sacrificing quality. When applying paint, we always do 2 coats. The first coat is sprayed on with ample time to dry. We follow the manufacturer's recommendations for dry time. The second coat is applied in just the same fashion as the first. At the paint store, you'll find a whole variety of tips that are all specialized for certain applications. When we're doing something like cabinets or interior trim work, we use a fine finish tip here from Graco. Fine finish tips atomize the paint a little bit more. They put out a little bit less paint, just gives you a nicer finish without having to overload the surface with paint. Now that everything's painted, the fourth and final step is probably the most important step. We can prep your cabinets perfectly, we can paint them perfectly, but if we don't do this step, you are not going to be happy. That fourth step, clean up. For cleaning up your cabinet project, the products and tools you're going to need: trash bag, microfiber rags, and a Swiffer for cleaning the floors. The first step of our cleaning process is to start putting our cabinets actually back together. So this is adding in our hardware, hanging the doors and drawers back up, so we're getting them off the floor where they're finally going to live. This is where the work we did at the beginning of labeling all of our hardware, labeling all the doors, comes in handy. We're going to be removing all plastic and hand masking, essentially starting up high and working our way down. The last piece that we remove is that actual floor paper, rolling it up carefully so we're not creating a dust bomb. The final step, now that we have all of our masking cleaned up, is actually cleaning up your kitchen. So this is going to be wiping down hard surfaces, cleaning the floors, wiping out the inside of cabinets. Maybe if you have some glass on some of your cabinet doors, cleaning those so they look nice. Basically, getting it all wrapped up in a bow so when you come in, you're quickly able to start adding your dishes and plates to your cabinet spaces without dust and dirt that can get all your dishes and personal belongings dirty. And now we're complete. We've done the work of setting up the area, we've prepped all the surfaces, we gave you a really nice finished product, cleaned everything up. Now you can go back to enjoying your kitchen and enjoying these freshly painted cabinets that have updated your home, updated your kitchen, and look seriously great.